Today's monologue is particularly directed to citizens of La République du Cameroon. Whether you are in Cameroon or in the diaspora, today you must speak with clarity and with the courage that this moment demands of you. The government of the Gambia admitted recently that it is working with regional leaders, talking about Ecowas leaders, to negotiate a peaceful settlement of the Cameroon election crisis. But before you are deceived with false hopes, I'd like to remind you who these Ecowas leaders or AU leaders truly are and what recent African history has already taught all of us. To understand it today, we must look back to the Sahel uprisings, when the people, the citizens of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Guinea rose with one voice to reclaim their dignity, their sovereignty, and their destiny. In that moment, Africa witnessed something powerful. Young nations rejecting centuries of exploitation, saying no to French military domination, no to political marionettes dancing to Western scripts, and no to leaders who had sold their integrity to Paris. The people spoke loudly. The world heard them. But ECOWAS chose deafness. It chose not to hear the people of Burkina Faso. Instead acknowledging the legitimate aspiration of these nations, aspirations that were overwhelmingly supported by their people, ECOWAS attempted to wage a proxy war for France against the people. Not in the interest of West Africa, not in the interest of African unity, but in the interest of France, led by the governments of Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, and Senegal, countries whose leaders have long enjoyed political patronage from Paris. ECOWAS threatened military action against Burkina Faso, Mali, and Guinea. Let's not forget this story. This was not diplomacy. This was not Pan-Africanism. This was the ugly face of neo-colonial loyalty. ECOWAS refused to recognize the new leaderships in Burkina Faso. They refused to recognize the new leaderships in Mali. They refused to recognize the new leaderships in Guinea. The will of the African people meant nothing, zero to them. France's displeasure meant everything to them. And so ECOWAS, instead of standing with African sovereignty, transformed itself into the enforcement arm of French geopolitical interests. That is what ECOWAS, the AU, and CEMAC, they all stand for. And now, through the Gambia, these same leaders say they want an immediate solution to the Cameroon crisis. They want to negotiate it to what end? To whose satisfaction? The people of Cameroon or France? Cameroonians, do not be deceived. Don't deceive yourselves. How can those who refuse to recognize the sovereignty of the Sahel nations suddenly become champions of democracy in Central Africa? How can those who openly defended French interests suddenly defend the votes of Cameroonians? How can you believe them? How can those who themselves sit in the same club of election manipulators, political gatekeepers, and protected elites suddenly become arbiters of justice. France is not an outsider in the Cameroon crisis. France is a central actor. France is the puppeteer that has propped up dictatorships in Yaoundé for decades. France is the sponsor of political architecture built on fraud, corruption, exploitation, and violence. To expect Ecowas, the AU, an organization that has repeatedly bowed to French pressure to deliver justice for the people of Cameroon, is no hope at all. It is political fantasy. And because Mr. Chiroma is now in the hands of these very players, these same toothless lions who row for France but whimper before the African people, it should trouble every Cameroonian. His safety, his destiny, and his cause are now being shaped, not by Cameroonians, but by organizations that have already shown contempt for people's struggles elsewhere on the continent. Only Ghana of all these countries stands out today as the one nation with legitimacy and moral leverage. Ghana, under its history, its Pan-African legacy, and its political independence, has always been a country that listens to the people of Africa. Not perfect, but principled at least. Ghana has never hosted French military bases. Ghana has never acted as the attack dog of Western powers anywhere in Africa. Ghana has always maintained a voice that resonates with African dignity. If there is any country whose leaders can be approached with sincerity, any nation still left that can stand up to France without trembling, it is Ghana. That is the one nation Cameroonian leaders, Cameroonian activists should direct their messages to. If possible, they must seek direct engagement with Ghana's highest authorities, because the others, let us be honest, they are all compromised. The rest are compromised. They are either deep in the pockets of France or trapped in their own election rigging traditions, or drowning in political fragility so deep that they cannot speak with authority anymore. Not at all. Look at Ivory Coast, for instance. But this must not mislead us. Ghana may provide moral support, but Ghana cannot liberate Cameroon. It cannot. Ecowas cannot liberate Cameroon. The African Union, long asleep, cannot liberate Cameroon. The fate of Cameroon rests where it has always rested, in the hands of Cameroonians. And so today I speak to the people of Cameroon directly. This is the moment to pursue liberation with a vigor that terrifies your oppressors. This is the moment to rise with unanimity, so powerful that no foreign actor or potentate, no puppet regime, no regional body, no Parisian diplomat can break your resolve. You must now move from hope to action, from waiting to demanding, and from fear to faith. The world respects those who fight for themselves. The world listens to those who refuse to be silenced. The world supports those who demonstrate unbreakable determination. And the world follows those who first lead themselves, as Ambazonia is doing. The crisis in the post-Cameroon elections has entered a decisive phase. And in this phase, weakness is fatal. Naivety is dangerous. And relying on compromised organizations or institutions is a waste of precious time. But unified determination, this is unstoppable. A people standing together, that is unbreakable. A people who refuse to be oppressed, that is irreversible. You have seen this in Amazonia for 9 years, isn't it? The liberation of Cameroon from the 43-year dictatorship should not be negotiated in air-conditioned rooms in the Banjul. It should not be written in communiques drafted in Abuja. It should not be handed down by presidents whose own elections are stained by fraud. It should be forged, ladies and gentlemen, by the Cameroonian people, by their courage, by their resolve, and by their unshakable insistence that their votes matter, their voices matter, and their future belongs to them. This is the hour. This is the moment. The chains are old, ladies and gentlemen. The system is rotten, and history is calling. Cameroonians should rise. Not tomorrow, not next week, but now, and I mean now, with the vigor of a people that refuses to die, with the unanimity of a people who know that justice delayed is justice denied, and with the confidence of a generation that refuses to be ruled by fear. Cameroon's destiny should no longer be negotiable, its liberation no longer optional, its future no longer in the hands of those who betrayed Africa yesterday. It should be in the hands of its people. And I hope the people hear my voice. And by the people, I am referring to citizens of La République du Cameroon. I hope you heard me. I hope you heard me. I couldn't say it any better than this, ladies and gentlemen. It is time you put behind your fear and face that fear in the regime that has perpetuated itself in Yaoundé for 43 years. 43 years. Think about it. It is not enough running up and down on the streets of Paris to change a regime in Yaoundé. It is not enough running up and down on the streets in Belgium to change a regime in Yaoundé. What is enough is for you to demonstrate that you can fight. And when I mean fight, I mean actionable fight.